Hello, folks. I hope you're ready for this clash of dragons who are ready to just burn it all down. Prepare to have your universe shaken as we have got the Season 4 matchup that we all wanted to see, but we were cheated out of. The Helios and Luna champions Rex Regalis versus Universal Basic Income are here to settle that score once and for all. I am your friendly neighborhood Shotcaster Chargan, and I have got joining me on the caster desk Rap Terror.
Hello.
Go ahead.
How are you all?
I am excited for this.
I am too. You know, Brendan denying us it from the first season, from season 4, but that's okay. You know, he's playing, so he can't do that now. I set the schedule. I've got it good. I've got it set.
Right, and we can just always, put out like a hit. Say, hey, kill FOF Fang over Fang a couple of times, and we'll pay you some channel points.
Exactly.
We're not the NFL.
I'm excited for this, not only because we get to see Rex and Yumi, like two of the best teams that we saw back when, we did the Luna Helios league split for Heroic, but also, this is the return of the for the most part, the OG YUBI roster. Red has swapped out Freelancer in the top lane, obviously, this season, and was doing a bit last season too, but it's still these like teams. It's Joshi, it's Rafa, Civilok, Jeff God. They're all here, and it's just so exciting to see. And we're already in the bans with an Azir starting out.
Azir starting off that first pick. We do have the Sivir, like all of these bans that have been taken away. The Sivir, Seraphine, Vel'Koz, all very, very powerful picks that we have seen a lot of these players to pilot very well. Joshi and Civilok, both kind of getting targeted banned a little bit. I do like this Azir pickup. It's going to be nice to see Joshi pulling out some of those Shurima shuffles, trying to get in on that backline. Swain and Sejuani pickups. That Sejuani is a great flex pick to either jungle or top. And Swain is just in a really good spot right now, has a massive amount of healing and does so much damage if he's allowed to get ahead early. By that mid to late game, it's a very difficult powerhouse to deal with. So it's really nice to see them Universal Basic Income already respecting Rex Regalis and be like, look, we got to be able to take them out as quickly as possible.
Yeah, and there's flexibility in the Swain too. It can go mid, it can go support. I've seen it top a couple times. So there, again, a lot of flexibility, which, that's UB's bread and butter, is to draft flex and then kind of lock it all together in the last two picks. I wouldn't even be surprised if this was top Sejuani, support Swain, and we still get the classic UB, the Zac Galio combo. Civilok still needs to play some Galio, it's something he plays every season. Expecting it here. There's Tristana. Yeah, this is perfect Galio comp, right?
Yeah, this is a really good Galio comp because you've got a lot of like targets that can easily kind of step up, and then you have Galio jump in to provide some extra defenses and some nice hard engage. I do like this Trundle Misfortune pickup as well, just because Trundle, again, another champion you could theoretically flex into jungle or top lane. And I have on occasion in my random solo queue games where somebody obviously wants to throw the game, I've seen it in support. It's not something I would suggest, but I have seen it there.
That used to be a class. That used to be something a lot more common was Trundle support. I actually like it.
So gross. The slows are so bad.
I love it with the pillar. I think it's really fun to troll AD carries. As Zeri starts trying to jump on the wall and you just knock her out of it with the pillar. Just like halfway entering.
Combine it with the Misfortune here, like that right there would be a really gross, disgusting comp with the bullet rain slow as well. Like, yeah, there's just no walking. You're stuck.
And you can interrupt Tristana jump with it. Like, it's one of the few things that can actually interrupt Tristana's jump. Yep. So very good to take if that is there. I think it will be in the jungle, though. It is very strong right there, and it is the answer to Sejuani. You're just given free stats. Like, it's nothing, so I would expect to see it there. Maokai ban, surprising. Maokai hasn't gotten his rework, his little mini rework yet. It's not out till, I think, Thursday. The holiday's got all the patching days backed up, but Thursday is when his little mini rework should be coming out and we start seeing Otherline. So I'm kind of surprised they're going with that. I guess they were worried about like him poking as support, but with a Mumu, I think that's actually a good option. It's really easy to lock up Misfortune and stop her all. You've got 2 bandage tosses, you've got the ultimate. So really good take right there. Also good just to find picks. Yeah, I know it's a one-way trip with the Mumu, but you go in and get the ult and you can hit it with a Sejuani ult or follow up on a Sejuani ult, and you're basically set. You've basically done half their health before Swain or Tristana even touches the line. But Tahm Kench coming out to save the Misfortune. So that's always good to see.
You've still got a bit of a bull rush coming out of YUBI though, like with the comp that they've drafted, like you mentioned. So I do expect to see Rex Regalis. Like I think that's one of the reasons why this Azir pick is going to be so crucial, because you have that disengage with the ultimate, and so you're able to just knock everybody back, or you can use it as a hard engage to kind of separate the ADC from the rest of the team. Gragas as well going to be able to do the same thing. A lot of disruption on Rex Regalis, waiting for the hard engages or initiating them as they see fit. I really like that displacement that's on their side, and that's going to be a lot of really important things that take place during the team fights, essentially. So you're going to be seeing a lot of Gragas ultimates knocking the ADC into the rest of the team, keeping the Amumu from engaging, that sort of thing.
Yeah, and this is what we like to see out of Rex. You know, Joshi is a very smart individual when it comes to drafting. He's always looking to try to kind of pick apart his opponent's strategy, and he's drafted very well to counter the YUBI style. YUBI has drafted a very traditional YUBI comp, which is go in, and go in. That's YUBI's style. So to draft this Tahm Kench, this Gragas, this Azir, these things that can kind of help peel for a team and help disengage, that's really smart. Like I'd like to take into this sort of comp. It's going to be really difficult, I think, for YUBI to get on to Ulk Battery or even onto Joshi because of all this disengage. So they've really got to pick their targets well and really hope they can take them out, because if they can't finish them off with their first rotation of abilities, I think they're going to be in for a world of hurt when that Misfortune pops out and just starts ulting them all down.
So that pickup of the Nocturne on the side of YUBI basically solidifies this as a Sejuani top, which makes me think that the Trundle may have also been a sort of flex pick in addition to the Gragas, because you could swap either of those into either position, jungle or top lane, and have it work. So I think it's actually going to be a Gragas jungle and a Trundle top, and that Trundle is basically just going to be like, okay, we'll put it in the jungle if we want to fight against the Sejuani, but most likely now that it's going top, they're going to put it in the top lane.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Sejuani, honestly, in the top lane. I know a lot of people have picked it, but I haven't seen it really be this all-encompassing.
It is far more successful than I expected it to be. Like that, yes, I have played it a couple of times, and the amount of damage you do early with your permafrost is just disgusting. And then whenever you get into a situation where you've got your ultimate ready, the fact that you can get a double stun and you're doing health damage, it's going to be really, really useful against a champion like Trundle. The problem is Trundle's Subjugate is basically going to steal all of the extra resistances that Sejuani has initially if they wait for the armored passive to be available. So that's going to basically put Sejuani in a negative deficit with those stolen stats.
All right, we'll have to see how that goes. It is actually going to be the Gragas top. Rafa is going to be taking the Trundle jungle. That makes a lot of sense. Trundle is a better position in the jungle, and he can kind of come up and throw in the Sejuani whenever. Plus, Gragas can pop the Sejuani shield just whenever with his Q, or even just belly flop onto him. If she tackles him, he can just belly flop away. So not a big issue. Kind of nullifies a lot of that early game advantage you were talking about for the Sejuani, especially with the healing built into Gragas. Trundle has it too, but his is more, about killing minions to heal up, where Gragas just chugs a barrel and he's okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's a good pick. I think the lanes are matching up how we were kind of like how you would hope for Rex. Like, this is what you want. You want this Sejuani in the top side that you can control the top lane, maybe get the Gragas ahead. You want the Swain mid instead of in the bottom lane. So your Tahm Kench is an ass threat. It's harder for a Mumu to threaten Tahm Kench Misfortune, I think. While he can go in, like, you're just going in to get tongue licked and just eaten up. So it's a better matchup than if, say, it was Swain support, Sejuani jungle, and something else top, or the side of Rex. But just, it's looking standard right now. Though I would expect to see some early aggression coming out of YUBI. They want to snowball this game.
Absolutely. YUBI wants to get ahead. They want to get ahead early and fast. Well, Rex is perfectly fine to just let this game scale up. I think the real threat for Rex is going to be that Tristana, just the speed at which she's going to be able to take these turrets when they get ready to go. It's going to be really, really fast. So if they allow Tristana to split push and allow her to get onto these turrets and take them out, it's going to be a problem. Look at that Lollipop getting onto Alk Battery to get some early damage, taking a tongue shot from the resident Pokemon on the Rift from Smacks, just smacking around, Brian saying. I think this bot lane, we're going to see some nice trades back and forth, but overall, mostly steady. I just expect Alt Battery to kind of rain down some bullets for quite some time.
I'm just really happy to see Brian and Jeff together in the bot lane. I think they are one of the most fun bot lane combos to watch in FOF history. Like they have been in the past. So I'm just glad to see them back. I'm glad Brian managed to get some time to relax and refresh himself after season 4. Just took season 5 off. And that we get to see this combo play together again. I mean, there's a little bias there, obviously. I put them number 1 in my power rankings, at least for week 1. We'll have to see, depending on how this game goes, if they hold that for week 2. But it looks like a gank from Rex.
Yep, hard gank, and unfortunately, Brian Sang has already gone in. We got the pillar coming out. Jeff God having to flash away. They are getting double flashed on by Rafa, and that is going to be first blood going over to the Tom Kench. Smack's picking up the kill, and we do see Brian Sang making a hasty retreat to the mid lane, trying to get out and avoid getting caught up by this Trundle.
Yeah, burn the flash and the heal, but does get 2 flashes out of it and the ignite, so at least they know that it won't be able to follow up quite as easily. I think they had time to get away. I think if the Tristana just jumped like, a second or 2 earlier, she probably would have had time to walk out, but no, hindsight is 20/20, as they say.
Yep, hindsight's 20/20, as they say. Unfortunately, if you don't have vision, then you cannot see to begin with. So they didn't have vision in that tri-brush, so they were not able to see the Trundle until it was too late after Brian had initiated. So unfortunate there. Meanwhile, in the top lane, we have got Beora versus Red. Things going fairly well. I feel like Red's very comfortable on this. We've got Nocturne looking for an engage as well, so we could be seeing some fighting going on here in the top lane. Utility Monster going in, getting those extra procs. Permafrost is going to come out, so that is going to be a good bit of damage. Ignite is down as well. The flash from Utility Monster picks him up a kill as the Nightmare starts to set in on this Rift.
And we said both these junglers are going to be kind of looking to get things early, especially YUBI. They don't get the first blood because of that gank bottom side, but immediately Utility Monster heading top lane, looking for the counter gank top side, gets the kill onto Beora. And that means that, we've got a scary little Nocturne now. You have the kill. That's always scary to see Nocturne start getting those, because if he gets like 1 or 2 more, he's going to become so annoying at level 6. All this extra damage on these. Oh, fight bottom lane.
Yeah, we got a fight going on here in the bot lane. Trundle looking for that engage, trying to find Nocturne, going for that Gromp. We're going to be seeing a little bit of a jungle fight here in just a second as Nocturne stumbles upon him. Not seeing... we do see the Swain is aware, so we got the rest of Rex coming over to assist. Blast Cone's going to come out, is going to get Rafa to safety. Cheeky Invade wasn't quite able to turn it into what they wanted to, and didn't have any summoners to escape, so... That was almost really bad.
Yeah. Trundle's Q, it does take attack damage, but Nocturne sitting on his own little shadow trail kind of nullifies that because he gets the bonus AD from it. So it's a little bit harder for Trundle to duel Nocturne, especially Nocturne because he's got the attack speed. So if you try to pillar and he times there and you get that little bonus, it's easy to get run down, at least early on. Until later when he gets a little bit more items under his belt and just starts smacking him in the face with his club.
Yep, and in the meantime, we've got Civillock taking some decent poke damage from this Azir as they're getting stabbed by those sand soldiers. And we've got a fight here in the top lane. Rafa, or Beora, getting hit once again with that permafrost. You've got that extra bit of damage, not able to get it actually proccing off very well. Unfortunately, I think that was just a miss auto attack. And again, small engage coming out in the bot lane as Smax has just taken that bomb and the shield's going to come out, meaning it doesn't really do much.
I think he actually got the damage, but you saw Beora had kind of drank the barrel, which gives the damage reduction for Gragas plus the heal from the passive, so it just looks like he didn't do anything. But Red kind of, I did saw him, he got the hit in. Oh, but Utility Monster, yeah. Oh,
he's going to put up the spell shield, meaning he is able to avoid a lot of CC. Unfortunately, though, not much going on with that fight. Just they're kind of posturing more than anything.
Yeah, I think both teams were scared to give up a strong lead. This game is 100 gold difference right now. So if that fight goes bad and, you get 3-0 on the other team, you don't get anyone on the other side, it's very easy to see this game snowballing. So both these teams playing extra cautious. They know how good and cheeky the other is, so trying to just take it nice and slow after that early aggression. They're just going to play it out. I think they're going to be playing for these dragons. You already see Utility Monster kind of roaming down on this side. I think he picks up the blue buff. I'm not sure if that gets him to level 6. I don't quite know his XP right now, but I would assume it gets him close. And if he hits 6, I think he just goes straight for it because he can get off of it so easy and like kind of force a dive if anyone tries to rotate up.
That's entirely possible. We're looking at right now is if we look at the state of top lane, we are seeing that Fimbulwinter is going to be coming out for Sejuani, so they're going to get exceptionally tanky as this game progresses. The Gragas has been doing a good job of just kind of maintaining the lane, but unfortunately, as we can see right here, they're not quite able to fight the Sejuani. See right there how much damage I was talking about? You get a couple of those procs on you, you're going down. Ooh, Tristana was brought exceptionally low. Nocturne going in right on top of the Tahm Kench. Tahm Kench having to use the Abyssal Voyage to get away. They are able to escape the Trundle Zone. Does mean, look at that, the damage coming out. Tahm Kench going in onto Jeff God, who kind of stepped up way more than I expected them to. The Subjugate is out as we see those stats going into Trundle, stealing them from the Amumu. And that is going to be a Drake call from Rex Regalis, and they are going to be able to secure this relatively easily.
Yeah, I'm not sure why. I was confused why Utility Monster decided to go in at how low Jeff is. But even more, I'm confused why Jeff stayed around. I think it's one of those situations you just back up, you admit, hey, I need to back him, lose some farm, lose a bit of the wave. They're going to try to contest this dragon. I don't know if this is a good idea. Swain is coming down, though, but so is Azir.
Swain is coming to join, as is Azir. We've got the ultimate coming out. Civillock trying to get engaged. The Emperor's Divide is going to knock Civillock towards the rest of his team and away from his allies. Smax is going to take so much damage from all those sources. Nocturne does manage to pick up the kill. We got Brian Singh jumping on top of Ulk Battery, managed to get a root and a stun, so Misfortune is not able to do anything. That is going to be an ultimate coming out from the Curse of the Sad Mummy. Brian Singh, once again, trying to force Joshi off. They're trying to get this extra kill. Jeff got jumping on top of him, and that fight went in the exact opposite direction that I expected.
And we were saying earlier, both these teams were going to be a little concerned about giving up a 3-0 in a fight like that. And this time, though, it's a 4-0 in favor of YUBI. The fight, you know, it looked like it was going to start out well. They was 4-3. They didn't realize Jeff was coming back so soon. He gets there. They go in, and this just tears it up. I actually think that a 0 kind of made that fight even worse for Rex because it pushed the Swain back towards the Kench and the Misfortune.
Yeah, and no, it did. It pushed him towards his allies and the rest of that fight.
Yeah, and that just hurt. And 2 of the kill. I mean, they split the kills a bit. So 1 on Swain, 1 on Tristana, but 2 onto Utility Monster's Nocturne. He's at 3-0 right now. He is going to become a threat. He's going for the Stride Breaker, it looks like. So going to be able to slow down anyone trying to run from him. There's not a lot of mobility outside of Gragas and I guess technically the Tahm Kench W, along with Azir dash. But like the Tahm Kench W takes a moment.
Look
the
at
Gragas
the patience on red,
Ooh.
waiting for Bayor to push up a little too much. That's going to be a knock-in as the Winter Assault comes out. First stun is going to be right there. The ultimate coming out as well. Ignite is getting dropped onto the Gragas. We've got Nocturne going in under the tower to finish off the kill. That is unfortunate for Bayor as they take so much damage so quickly, and it's just going to mean that there's going to be a couple of plates dropped here and probably a Rift Herald pickup.
Feeling good about my hedged bets for this game. So I'll admit I bet in the Twitch chat betting on Rex for this game because I see it this way. If Rex wins it, I get a lot of points because they are the underdogs in points right now. If YUBI wins it, my power rankings are safe. So, like, this is a win-win. Like, no matter how this game goes, it's a win-win. But this is the outcome I like, where it feels like it's a little close outside of that one mistake around Dragon. And, you know, I'm going to lose points, but I'm going to get my power rankings right. That's okay.
We do have a 3K gold lead on the side of YUBI, so they are doing fairly well right now. We do have Jeff God once again dropping in Abyssal Voyage, coming out, getting the nice knockup. Jeff still has jump, so they're looking to disengage, but we've got Smacks coming in. The Smite coming out from Nocturne means that for Tahm Kench, not able to escape. The Frog's going to go down. The ultimate drop, bullet time coming from Misfortune as Ulk Battery tries to get some damage off. Not quite able to do enough yet. But as this game progresses, the amount of damage that a crit Misfortune will be able to do means that Tristana will only be able to survive maybe 4 shots.
And Rafa's looking topside, but the ward does spot him. I didn't see Ulk Battery's ultimate timer, but it felt like he could have ulted that earlier, unless it came. He ulted as soon as he could, because waiting that long just lets them walk up on Smack and just run him down. Another kill going over. It's on utility monster again. So this Nocturne, now 2 full items. He's so far ahead of Rafa right now. 24 CS up. A whole about an item ahead of him with the boots. Just in a massive position. Right now, YUBI is in such a good position for this game. Their scaling is so good between the Swain and the Tristana. I like where this is, but Rex can still find a way into it. If they get a good Shurima shuffle into a Misfortune ultimate, they can set this up really well. But they've got to find those fights, and they've got to stem the bleeding a little bit, because 3K down, Herald about to drop against them, 1.5 minutes till Mountain, which I feel like they're just going to end up giving up. They have to find a way to get a win somewhere. Leaving the Misfortune to farm on the bottom side is probably a good idea. Let her try to get some of those tower plates before they drop in 45 seconds, sorry. But they're going to try to get some mid too on the side of YUBI. You see them walking over with the Herald. Oh,
we got a missed Winter's Assault coming up from Red as they're going in on this Baora, but look how tanky they are, doing so much damage because of that percent health proc on the Winter's Wrath. Just absolutely, it's so nice when you're a Sejuani and you've just got so much a large health bar. You're like smacking people around, doing so much damage.
Just notice they're in mid. It's getting harder to trade with Jeff. You know, as Tristana's passive goes up and she gets the increased range per level, it's becoming harder and harder for the members of Rex to really trade with her. They don't have what I would say is the longest range. They've got abilities they can cast to like kind of poke with, but they can't like just walk up and try to auto attack. Even Azir's minions and Misfortune they're a little outranged right now. I feel like as this goes on, he's gonna start getting more and more control over the lane situation and be able to kind of force the waves where he wants them, and they're not going to be able to respond without him poking back. Herald is dropped. They are going for the dragon. I don't know if they're going to get the charge off on this Herald.
I think that they're kind of making the decision of let's go ahead and do Drake drop Rift in the mid lane. They are going to be able to get the charge because it's going to ignore the champions right there. So they'll get the damage off and they're able to just kind of walk away. Unfortunately, that means that the dragon has now reset. Azir jumping over the wall, getting away from the Nocturne. Kind of looking like Rafa might be looking for this hard engage. They have no way over the wall, so they're having to kind of watch around. They may just be looking to give it up. Vision is dropped, but unfortunately they can't really see too much. Azir looking for the engage, but unfortunately the smite's going to come out. Nocturne picks up the kill. Very, very close.
That Swain grasp was really good. I saw the Misfortune ultimate coming out, and he just grabs her and pulls her out of it immediately. So that was nice to see. Stops any attempt at the steal right there. It was a good attempt from Rex, though, but the dragons are down. It is Ocean Soul this game. Either team, I think this would be good for. The sustain would be really helpful for Rex, but in the case of YUBI, like there's a lot of poke, and it would engage on the bottom side.
Azir taking so much damage. We've got the Shurima Shuffle coming, or not, sorry, the Emperor's Divide comes out. Doesn't look like it actually pushed Utility Monster as the spell shield was up. Does mean that they're able to get out from underneath that tower and able to get the safety.
And YUBI just keep getting kills, keep finding ways to make plays. We were saying that this comp is really good for countering YUBI with all the disengage, but that kind of requires your team to kind of be there all together to utilize it all effectively. And they just haven't been able to group effectively in this game enough to be able to utilize it. Yeah, not yet. They'll be able to find it soon, I think. You know, they're losing turrets. They're gonna have to start condensing, start grouping up more. But it's still a bad position to be in. They're 5K down right now. They've got bounties already activated, and YUBI is just, they're going wild. The only 2 deaths have both, funnily enough, been on Jeff, but the rest of the team, deathless. Jeff still 3, 2, and 3. Just absolutely in such a powerful position. I don't know if grouping, if they don't find a way to like group up soon and utilize their advantages, I don't even think it's going to matter. I think YUBI's going to get, like, if they get a little bit more of a lead, it's going to become brutal. And ooh, Joshi.
Joshi's going to take a decent amount of damage here. You're absolutely right in that it's going to become brutal. However, because of the fact that we do have these bounties on the board, that's a 300 gold bounty on Tristana, 500 on Nocturne, and then you've got just all these objectives across the map that are available for Rex to choose from. There are plenty of comeback locations for them to be able to find a way back into this game in terms of gold. And all of those are going to be really devastating for YUBI if Rex is allowed to pick them up.
I absolutely agree. I think they need to make sure they don't lose any of these objectives, which actually might be to their detriment. They're kind of forced to defend some of these.
Azir getting jumped on once again. The Emperor's Divide is going to find the Nocturne this time, but unfortunately, he's just so low. The Azir goes down before the Nocturne is able to be killed off. Rafa not able to get there in time. Utility Monster now 4-0-3, while Tristana is 4-2-3, increasing their bounty. And then we got, once again, another engage hard on Baora, as unfortunately they're caught out by Brian Singh and Red. The health damage just doing so much to lock them down. They are finally able to escape. Max is here to assist as well, but Civilox waiting in the wings. Could be seeing the Noxian Emperor deciding to go ahead and back off, and that is going to be a good fight for YUBI as they start to just put so much pressure on this top lane as Baron is starting to come onto the map.
Yeah, and from wall to wall, YUBI is taking control of this map. Utility Monster,
he's taking a decent amount of damage, but not enough to really be a threat.
Yeah, I think they're worried. I don't know if they're tracking the ult timers right, but they might have been worried he might just go in onto ult battery. Ooh, the ultimate coming out is not enough.
It's not enough. Unfortunately, Tristana was already in the air and out of range, but did you see how much damage came off that Q?
Yeah, that was so much. The bounce is just so strong. People kind of forget that sometimes with Misfortune. It's like her Q bounce is actually a lot of damage. Like everyone uses the E for the poke, but the Q, if you aim it right, like it's hard because obviously it's in a cone and you have to get them right behind in that little tiny cone. But like you see right there, it's a really small cone. But if you hit in that cone, pain. Existence is pain.
Existence is so much pain, and we've already got the Eclipse out. We've got I think it's the Mortal Lord Dominic's on its way. So going for all of those large health bars are going to start to become a detriment for YUBI once this Misfortune actually picks that up.
Not sure if it's the Lord Doms. It might be Sherelda's Grudge.
Maybe so. I think there we go. We got a nice engage here. We got the objective bounty being secured. The Rift Herald is picked up by Trundle. They are able to nag it. We do see Nocturne diving in onto the backline, trying to jump onto the Misfortune, taking a lot of damage. Misfortune Alt Battery is able to escape. Baora getting caught out and frozen by the Permafrost is going to be taken out as well. We see Sejuani picking up that kill, and that is going to be a really, really painful cost for that Rift Herald.
Yeah, YUBI... I thought like Rafa's going to go on Brian right there, and Rex gets this Herald. It all looks so nice and easy, but the moment they get vision, Utility Monster walks in range. It's the go button. They spot out Ulk Battery, I think. No, they don't. The Ulk Battery's just way off on the side, so they only see the 3. They go, hey, Misfortune's not here. There's the Azir. He can't dissuade me from going in. Let's just fight this. And once Ulk Battery is spotted, it's just right onto him. I thought that he was going to get away. It looked like
Alt Battery does manage to escape.
Yeah, I'm confused. It looked like Tristana ulted the Tom Kench, but Alt Battery went with him. I wonder. I see the cooldown is down on Smacks. Did he ult Misfortune and drop her immediately on leaving and just on the spectator client? We just didn't see it because it looked weird that they both went flying.
I think that might have been the case. I'm not positive, though. I'd have to watch the fight again. Right now, though, as we hop into this, once again, we can see the power of this Tristana push coming out. The Dragon is going to go down, so that's going to be soul point next for YUBI as they manage to pick up this Dragon. Looks like they're not necessarily going to be going for the 7 Drakes that they usually go for.
Yeah, YUBI has decided that 7 is not their lucky number against Rex Regalis. Now, 7,000 in the lead. 3 Dragons, 5 minutes until they probably get soul at this point with this lead they've got going. YUBI is in a very commanding position this game, and I think they're going to start kind of try to close it out. You already see them kind of rotating toward this bottom side. They probably want this last outer tower, be able to rip that down. Jeff's already down here. The mid tower is super low. They're just gonna kind of, I think, push mid and bottom, try to find a fight, break it, and just crack the base open. On the side of Rex, though, Gragas is getting the farm. It's probably not who I would put on that farming duty up there. I'd probably try to put Azir, just so you have your carry getting it, and he has the escape tool. But you've already got him in the bottom lane, so Joshi has to be down there. Misfortune, poor Hulk Battery can't even leave the base that far. No idea if Nocturne and Tristan are just about to jump him out of nowhere. So he's just kind of forced to not be able to farm, and he is getting his items. He's only a couple hundred now under Jeff. Jeff hasn't really farmed nearly as well as Hulk Battery. He's down 50 on him this game, but the kill's making up for it. They're very close. They are very close, but Rex is having a very hard time dealing for this misfortune. Hulk Battery is just getting jumped every fight.
That's kind of the objective that YUBI has, is once they see Hulk Battery, they kind of hit that go button, jump right on top of them. So you've got a lot of kind of like protect the misfortune duty on the side of Rex, and unfortunately it's just a really difficult thing for them to do. With this Baron up right now, you've got all of Rex just kind of trying to farm where they can, be as safe as possible. It's unfortunate that they're so locked down, as they can't really afford to go out too far from their base for this extra gold. We do see Red kind of getting caught out a little bit, but they're just so tanky, it doesn't matter. Nocturne joining up with them in the river does mean that they're going to be able to get out. Brian saying finding Hulk Battery, that is going to be, I think that was the cleanse that came out.
It was indeed.
Yep. So that's going to be a crucial summoner spell down.
Yeah, and Jeff, I guess, is they're going to put on the split duty now. Can easily get away from this Gragas. Gragas really can't do much against Tristana. Now goes the last of the outer turrets. Now the inner outer turrets are next.
Yeah,
it's just layers and layers of turrets.
Yep, it's like peeling back an onion. You've got YUBI doing a very good job of making sure that they aren't hitting that root and making themselves cry by cutting it wrong. They're just slowly peeling this back. We are going to be seeing, I think, the Baron become a position that they're going to be fighting around here. Again, Brian's saying it's kind of like they're threatening to engage, but just by being there, keeping Rex from actually doing anything. This Rift Herald drop is going to be really risky. They needed to get it out because of the timer, but I don't think it's going to get a charge off.
I think it might. They are kind of grouping up behind it, trying to prevent it from going.
Oh, there you go.
So close.
Yeah, it was very close. Unfortunately, they weren't able to stay close enough to protect it. Now you've got at least a little bit more protection with that Shuriman turret in that mid lane. It's going to do a little bit. We'll have to see exactly how much it's able to do. And against the Tristana, unfortunately, it's not going to be much.
Yeah. I would like to point out, Hulk Battery technically has a lead right now. Actually, I guess not. I guess the blade is about the same cost. It looks like he has a lead just because he has a tier. But the misfortune, getting the item. So there you go. She did get the Serelda's Grudge. I feel like you brought that up earlier, and I just blanked. Yep, you did. Okay, good.
No,
good.
You brought up the Serelda's Grudge. I was saying that I thought it might be Lord Dom's because of the health bars.
Oh, I thought you brought it up again afterwards.
Not quite.
Sometimes
they are sitting on the tier fully stacked for Mana Moon. So
yeah,
might be.
Sometimes my brain, that meme where it goes do, and it's like someone spinning in space. That's my brain sometimes. That's just my brain. It just goes spinning. It's the Vegeta 2 doing the little like ice skating dance thing.
This is your brain on League of Legends.
This is my brain on League of Legends. No, my brain on League of Legends is a 2, 10, and 17 game. That's my brain on League of Legends.
All right, we've got a TP coming out here from that Sejuani joining in the mid lane. I think it's a little preemptive, not necessarily needed. They probably could have just walked up to the Dragon Pit, but that is going to be YUBI pushing in on this dragon. It is going to be Soul should they pick this up. Brian saying jumping in onto the Rafa does manage to get the lockdown. We've got one more charge left on the bandage toss. Rafa being brought super low. We got Hulk Battery getting jumped on by the Nocturne. The spell shield means that there's nothing to stop Utility Monster from taking out the Azir. We do see now Smacks getting knocked around by the rest of YUBI, and there's nothing they can do. Tristana coming in to finish them off, and that is going to result in a number of kills that just leaves Rex kind of hanging out to dry.
Yeah, and a lot of opportunities there. I think Hulk Battery could have ulted, especially once the ult was burned by Utility Monster onto Mr. Hulk Battery.
Hulk Battery's going to go down. The bomb's going to do so much here, and it's going to be enough to take them out, and that is going to be Jeff God going on a rampage. that is going to be Soul for Universal Basic Income, and that is going to be Baron for Universal Basic Income, as we see this game cracked completely open, Rex on the back foot, and unfortunately, this could be the doom that ends Rex Regalis.
Def God Gamer doing his best impersonation of Steph Curry with the three-pointer from downtown for the kill onto Alk Battery. But that is the Baron. They were not even going to be able to contest this. YUBI 12,000 golden lead. They have the Ocean Soul. You got to believe it's just time. It's just a matter of time until they end the game at this point. They are in Civillock going to trade up there, but
you call it a trade. I think it's just a friendly handshake of please don't kill me.
Yeah, that's on Bayor's end. I don't think Civillock is concerned about dying in the slightest. He is so.
Look at this. Jeff God just completely obliterating Red Buff in 3 shots.
Yeah, Jeff God is terrifying. We said he was doing his Steph Curry impersonation. I didn't get to call out before he killed Alk Battery. I was going to call out, sir. You said that he was beating down on Smacks. Why would you not say he smacked Smacks?
Why would I say? Because it was too easy.
Sometimes
I wanted to leave Smacks some dignity for that one.
Never. You always go for the memes.
Always go for the memes. And just look at this. We've got such a large view of this map as we just see the slowly encroaching chokehold that YUBI has on this game. They're just pressing in on this base, and there's basically nothing that Rex is able to do. The Baron push is just so powerful that they don't even need to do anything to the turrets on their own. They just let the minions do all the work for them.
Yeah, and the dragon is just, the jungle is just so dark for the side of Rex.
So dark.
Like
Smacks getting smacked around, the ultimate coming out to defend them. That is going to be a nice shove off by Alk Battery, but unfortunately, we've got the rest of YUBI just hanging out. Their health bars are too big. Tristana just obliterating that turret, says, you know what? You think you have safety? No, you don't. Lockdown coming out. Rafa getting a nice chop off, healing themselves up, but unfortunately it's not going to do too much for them as we've got Civillock coming in. The amount of damage from that. Look at that animation from the knockback by the Emperor's Divide. Talk about silly jank interactions. And unfortunately, there's very little that Rex can do here as the oppressiveness of this Universal Basic Income just absolutely strangleholds them in this base. And these turrets are going to fall. There's nothing Rex can really do. And that is going to be game number 1, going over to Universal Basic Income with relative ease.
Yeah, they just kind of like slowly walked into the base and just took it all. But YUBI continuing to show and pick up where they left off in Heroic. A dominating team, 2-0 to end week 1 in the Mythic League. I'm just saying, people were telling me when I put them at the top of the power rankings, this team isn't that great. This team is going to be like, they're not actually that great. I don't know, man. They're 2-0. They defeated what everyone else was saying was the number 1 team. And now they've defeated Rex, who is universally considered the 4th best team across all the power rankings. I feel like this is a good squad. I feel like YUBI has just shifted to the Mythic League like nothing, like that. This is easy for them.
I have to admit, I expected Rex to put up more of a fight. I am a little surprised at just how dominating YUBI was during this game. I think that just spells how exciting it's going to be to see them once again become the heel that everyone wants to take down as we go into this day 2. They've already established, look, you thought YUBI was strong before. They've just gotten stronger. They hit their Zenkai boosts from those last couple of games in the past season that now they are just absolutely disgusting.
Indeed. And I guess we have to already start asking the question. Let's just get it at like a year and a half ahead. If they win 3 times, if it took them 3 wins in Heroic to move to Mythic, does it mean they have to win Mythic 3 times in a row and then they'll move up to the LCS?
I don't know. I think that's going to be a question we'll have to ask. With that, though, I think we should go ahead, take a quick break, folks. We'll be right back with an interview with our winners. Universal Basic Income is going to be catching us up here soon with their takes on this game. So stick around, and we'll be right back.
All right, folks. Chris Edgeworth here with today's first interview, and I am joined by the man, the myth, the legend, coming out of the jungle. It is Utility Monster. How are you feeling after the win today?
Feeling really good about that win. That was the game that I think we'd all penciled in our schedules before the season started. We really wanted to give Rex a good game, and I think we showed up. So really happy with that performance.
Yeah, let's dial in a little bit more on that in a moment, because this was an absolutely stunning game from the folks at Universal Basic Income. But first, I want to start and set the table with what preparation was like, because as you mentioned, this was a marquee matchup that everyone was looking forward to. It got a lot of hype yesterday in our interviews on both sides from Rex and YUBI, talking big smack for this game and on what they had hoped. The win that each of you had hoped to get, but in the end, it's YUBI that walks away with it. So what was it like on your end getting ready for this matchup and the preparation?
Honestly, I think Rex is the hardest team to draft against because they all across the board play a lot of champions. They have a defined style, which is nice, but they don't have a reliance on one champion to execute that. Everyone can play, a lot of good scaling characters, and they want to team fight you, late in the game and just beat you with slow macro. And that's hard to prep against. I mean, you just have to play better on the day. So prep wise, honestly, it was just let's do some flex picks and draft, trying to keep them on their toes a little bit. And then most of it was just make sure we're in a good mindset and come prepared to play.
Let me just touch on the draft for a moment there then. You yourself ended up with the Nocturne in your hands, and also I mean, your build interests me. I mean, I haven't seen people build Stridebreaker in a quick minute, and then you followed that up with the Axiom arc. So I would love to get your thoughts on that. But then overall, I mean, you folks had a fairly interesting draft. Jeff on the Tristana rather. Brian, not consigned to Maokai prison, gets his hands on Mumu. And then Sejuani and Swain to round it out. What were your folks' thoughts there?
So Swain and Sejuani are both flex picks. Sejuani can go jungle or top. Swain can go to both solo lanes. So those were pretty flexible the entire draft. Tristana was our answer to Misfortune. We were expecting Misfortune a little bit coming in. It's just a strong AD carry. It's not like we have a hard read in Alkbet or anything. It was one of a few AD carries we thought they would play. So that was our prepared answer. A Mumu is just good with Tristana. It's good engage, and it denies the Misfortune to Mumu combo. And then Nocturne, I actually don't think Nocturne's in that great of a spot right now, but Stridebreaker is really important because Nocturne, unless you're insanely fed and it's easy to throw, you can't go for one shots, so you have to be able to stick to people and survive a little bit, and Stridebreaker is perfect for that. Axiom Arc was my second item, and I think that's a little bit more debatable. It's really high win rate on lawlytics.com, but in a solo queue environment, it's a little bit different from 5, so I would be willing to admit that that's maybe suboptimal. But overall, I think Nocturne's not in a great spot, but I'm really good at him. I've played a lot of Nocturne over the past few seasons of FOF, so it was definitely a comfort pick for me that I think rounded out our comp well, even if it wasn't necessarily the highest number champion available.
And of course, tip our hat to Lolalytics, which has never led anyone astray. That's data-driven analysis for both item builds and champion power spikes and their power relative to each other on the rankings, the tier list. So check out Lolalytics.com. It's obviously
that's right.
A good thing.
And if the data does not fit your narrative, just remember you can add filters until it does.
There you go. Exactly, dude. This is the hard-hitting results-based analysis that people come to Friend or Foe to hear. So, and one thing, just quit memeing aside, on the Nocturne, I think it is one thing that is underspoken, the fact that you are having the paranoia up more often. I'll be real with you, Axiom Arc's kind of like a win more item in my opinion. I feel like you're low-key just kind of egoing on them because you guys were stomping them, but maybe you feel differently about that. But the point I wanted to make about paranoia, when you have two far ranged carries in the hands of the MF and the Azir, turning out the lights and having the likes of Mummy and, Tristana, if Jeff wants to be a psycho and go in and go out with the rocket jump, but then also the Sejuani and, of course, just the Nocturne coming straight through. That is very powerful to have on your team, even if you just start off the fight by putting out the lights, so it's not exactly super safe for that MF to open up with that ultimate if they're not sure what could be coming for them as soon as they root themselves. So,
yep, totally agree.
Nocturne.
Rex is a really smart team. They play really well with information, so the more information you can deny, the better.
Of course, exactly, and I'm glad that you concur. So, Utility Monster, I want to give you opportunity to talk about this game because we've mostly just been talking around the edges. It was a little bit of an everything gap in this game. I can honestly say I don't think a single soul expected the game to be this out of sorts. I feel like, overall in the game, Rex, they were in there. They were trying to make plays. They weren't exactly going to take it lying down. Some of their plays were a little muddled. And just at a certain point, it was just a wallet gap, on most of these things. So, what was your experience in the game as you folks were accruing this lead? Did you folks ever feel like there was any plays where it might have been slipping out of your hands?
It was a tough early game. Rafa played pretty well around bot side to get some early kills there. Unfortunately, they went into Tom Kench, but still definitely an early lead there. But they weren't quite able to capitalize the rest of laning phase and get a CS edge. They got a CS edge after laning phase because we had some weird lane assignments, but in the lane itself, they didn't get a CS advantage. And then at the first dragon fight, they really underestimated how tanky those dragons have become since the most recent change, I think. If that was a dragon from 5 patches ago, they kill it and leave. But the dragon, as tanky as it was, let us respawn, get back there and contest it. So really sort of close margin on a fight blowout. And then from there, our comp just has a lot of money, and their comp is a really scaling comp that doesn't have that many proactive tools and ways to get back in the game. They really rely on not getting behind in the first place and sort of playing slightly slower perfectly until they outscale. So I think at that point it was a pretty comfortable game for us to push our lead, but definitely the first, say, 10 minutes we are playing our heart out, even if it looks like it was a simple sweep.
Of course, that just proves the point that the game is never as simple as the scoreboard in the end. It was numerically a seismic shift in the way of YUBI, but of course, as you say, hard won in the early game, having to play steady, play with cold, calm nerves, and in the end, though, Universal Basic Income does strike first blood in this so-called Super Finals matchup here in Season 6. So that's got to feel good. And Utility Monster, before we step away, I wanted to give you this opportunity for any final thoughts, any shout-outs, any banter you haven't had an opportunity to get out while you've been on the desk.
Shout out to my team for playing well, and just a general all-purpose call. If anyone is watching this and not playing in Mythic and wants to help out behind the scenes, FOF is always looking for more staff to help ref or cast. So shout out to anyone who thinks they might want to get involved. It's really easy. It's really fun.
You know what? I'm going to soapbox a little bit on that. I appreciate you bringing that up. You've stepped into a staff role and been exceptionally helpful, and I appreciate your help behind the scenes, Utility Monster. And then, of course, this is a labor of love, folks. I mean, I started off in Season 1, Chris, just like, I need players, I need to help this out. And so I joined up with Sanga, not me in the third person. And so I was just in the league, just like filling out a team. And then I got involved behind the scenes. And so many of us, I know Isaac and Ryan also, and Zach jumped to mind. Marcus, of course, from Season 1, jumping in from Atlas. And so much of this league is built labor of love from the people who enjoy playing in it. So if you want to reach out, you want to be a part of what we do here to keep it going, we always need people to help out, and it's so appreciated. We got a really awesome crew behind the scenes, all told. I can't stress enough how thankful I am, not only for the hard work of everyone, but just how genial and kind and generous people are with their time who contribute to the product. And really, I'm sure I speak for all the people behind the scenes, but especially for the GOAT, Chris Sanga, that we love showering our love on the product that he's labored so hard to make, and we always appreciate when people help continue to keep the dream alive. So reach out, be a part, be the change you want to see in the world. And that's going to be it for us, folks. Shout outs to Universal Basic Income on this absolutely spectacular W they put up here in the first week of Mythic. It gives us a lot of interest to see how things will shake up as the season develops and as the eventual rematch comes for this. But folks, that's going to be it for our first game. We're going to take a short break. We'll be back with Game 2 action coming up next, so don't go too far.